Hi guys, this is Oracle Daphne doing your September 8th tarot horoscope, your daily horoscope. September 8th is a Monday, so hopefully there's not a lot of Monday madness because Mondays kind of suck. I hate to say that, but that is quite true. So I'm just going to shuffle here real quick, just to double check here. But I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. I'm recording this on Saturday. Today is the sex day from what I did the reading for. So I hope tonight is your night and you're really going to get it on today. That's the hope. Okay, so I just pulled a card off the top. We got this guy. This is for Monday. This is the King of Cups. This is the grandpa. This is the grandpa of my deck. He's an older male. You may be connected to an older male in spirit. Like I've talked about this, that I think of my grandpa. He passed away recently, and so I think of him. I also it can be like an uncle too, but I think of grandpa. I think of, if your grandpa's alive, this is your grandpa. If your grandpa's passed away, this is him in spirit. And basically, this is, and if it's not, I was just getting it, if it's not somebody, you don't have, maybe your grandpa, maybe you didn't have a grandpa, that was close to you growing up, and you don't have a lot of family. This is an older male that's in your life. This can be an older teacher, an older boss even, someone that has a little bit of white hair or a lot of white hair and or a beard that's white, or on the gray but turning to white side. Okay, so basically, yeah, that's this guy. And the thing about this card is it's such a beautiful card because this person wants to give you this much, this much love. They want this much happiness. They want this much joy and love and abundance in your life. They want to give you everything. They're really a beautiful person, and they want the best for you. Ultimately, they want the best. They want you to have it all. Especially, this is the cups. This is the King of Cups, especially emotionally. They want you to stop. If you've been upset, if you had a really rough weekend and you're just watching this now on Monday, they want you to stop crying. They want you to stop being upset. They want you to be happy. They want you to remember that they love you. Again, this is tough. Remember that they love you very much, and they don't want to see you upset. They don't want to see you hurt. They want you to feel content. This is about feeling content. Even if you have very little, you can still come to a place in your mind where you're content. I think of this almost as like the afternoon evening card. This could also be like a great day at the beach too. But this is about, I feel like when I say afternoon evening, this is about when you come home from a long day and you make dinner and you take a few moments just before, maybe you crawl into bed. Maybe this is like just before you fall asleep. And you start to relax. Take a deep breath. And you go, you know? And maybe it's that moment where you start to cry because emotions come up. Or maybe it's that moment where you start to realize your relationships aren't working. Or it's that moment where you miss someone. Or it's that moment where you start to relax and you start to become content. Relax is sort of like content in my mind. Because in order to be relaxed, you have to release that pent up air that you've been holding in all day, you know? And you just kind of relax and you take a deep breath, and in that moment, everything is good. You could have nothing, but in that moment, just before, you know, you go to sleep, you're relaxed enough to be in the moment. But this person wants you to have that during the day, because this is during the day, too. This is like, you know, afternoon. There is sunlight here coming through, so it's not like it's at night. But it reminds me of the feeling that you get, you know, in the afternoon, evening. So you may feel like a little bit more like on Monday, like that you're able to relax more. Or maybe this would be a great day to take off. But also, this is the day where you're going to come home and you're going to find a little bit of contentment. You're going to feel more content and more like able to relax. So if you've been really stressed out, this is the moment, you know? This is it's almost like a big emotional release too. It's like a release. It's like when you get the check in the mail that you've been waiting for months, you know? This is that finally, you know. This is almost, I hate to say it, this is kind of crude, but orgasmic. This is an orgasmic time, you know. This is an orgasmic feeling. This is the feeling of, oh my God, you know, and it's just like you're not thinking about anything. Like the moment you have an orgasm, it's like you're not thinking about anything. The lights go out, you know. It's that ecstasy moment, you know. And this guy wants you to have that. He wants you to, you know, just feel relaxed, to release, to let go, you know. Cancers, Pisces, Scorpios. There's a lot of water here. So I'm directly talking to you guys. You know, this is about emotional release, releasing the negative, embracing the positive, looking for the good stuff. Libras too. Because there's two people in this. So it could be Libras, it could be Geminis, Capricorns, even Aries. This is almost everybody. Because there's an element of two. Because there's this guy holding the cup, and then there's this little seahorse. That's what they're called, little seahorse. And the older male, I mean, he is really wearing the pants. He is in charge, you know. So you may have somebody, if it's your grandpa, I mean, he may be kind of like the king of your family, you know. He's the top, you know, the backbone of the family. And basically the seahorse is willing to do his bidding because he's king. He's king of the ocean, you know. This would be a great time to go to the ocean. I know I talked about, you know, on the 4th or the 5th, you know, that wasn't a great day. But this is definitely. And Tauruses, specifically for Tauruses, because I connect Tauruses with the turtle. This is a day where you're going to feel like there's some forward movement on some things that are happening with you. Forward movement. These turtles are moving, okay? They're not just sitting there all bunched up, you know, unwilling to budge. No. They are moving. They're cruising. So, Tauruses, you may feel like you've got some energy today. This is Monday. You may have a lot of things to do, and your partner may have a lot of things to do because there's two turtles. So, especially Tauruses who are married to another Taurus, the two of you are going to be going, you know, out into the world, running errands, getting things done. But it's also forward movement on either a project that you started or something that you've been waiting on. This is the aha moment. This is the orgasm. This is something that maybe took some time to build up, and then finally it's getting released. And you know, the sea god, the sea king, really wants you to to feel the love, to feel the relax. So basically for everybody today, he's saying you're going to be abundant. If you're not already, you're going to be. And if you're not content, it's coming. You're going to feel in some way, somehow, maybe it's the following day, some magical, just calm, You're going to feel calm. You'll feel content. It's not, it goes beyond calm, because content and calm are different. Content is that moment where you're not worried about the future. You're not worried about your finances. You're not worried about finding a job. You're not worried about a relationship. It's magically going to happen, and it may be due to some unseen forces, because this seahorse is, he can kind of get in and out of those, he can blend in, It may be like, I'm thinking delegation too. You might have an assistant, or you might have a secretary or somebody that you give some responsibility to, and you say, okay, I'm taking the day off. You're in charge, My boss always says that when he leaves the office, which is quite frequently. No offense to him. I love him, but he says, you're in charge. That's what he says, and I'm like, okay. Anyways, so yeah, that's how I kind of feel. There are these little coins that I see, like they're parts of the plants, but they're like coins. So this could have been, it's almost like this could have been the King of Pentacles, but it's the King of Cups. It's like this guy could have chosen to be very wealthy, but he chose to be contented instead. That's what I'm feeling. And on this day, you may have a choice to make. There may be two things going on, and you may have a choice to make. Whether you choose to be happy or you choose to go after the money. And most people choose to go after the money because, it's practical. It's a practical thing. We all need money. We need to pay our bills. We need to pay our rent. We need to really, survive, gas, groceries, all that stuff. We need money for that. But the counsel of this card is to, if you need to make a choice between money and contentment, find a piece of your heart that's content. Because it looks like to me that there's money. There's going to be money anyways. So this guy, he chose contentment. But look around him. He has all this wealth. And he is in charge. And he doesn't. So it's like he made the right choice. And again, once you let go of things, the universe will bring it to you anyways. They will. When you're not hanging on so tightly to it. So, but if there's a pond or if there's a river or someplace near your house that has turtles, there's one near my house that I love to go to. There's a giant snapping turtle there that people feed. It is the coolest thing. It is huge. It literally is huge. And I know I feel connection with that pond and that wildlife. And there's a lot of, this is animals in general. So if you have animals, or if you haven't been to like an aquarium in a long time, go to an aquarium. Because I feel like the animals are calling to the sea creatures, the water creatures, that are there. And I recently had an experience where I feel like I connected to the fairies and the water nymphs. There's water nymphs. And I'm not even really fully sure what that means exactly. I just know that there's little sea creatures, out there. And I feel like they want me to mention them too. There's little sea creatures that you don't even realize are there that love you. And if you're by the water, they're there to help you release any negativity. So they're there to cheer you up. So if you go to the ocean, this is about getting cheered up by some sea creatures, water nymphs, fairies, fish too. But yeah, if you're in Chicago, go to the Shed Aquarium, because the Shed Aquarium is awesome. And I'm trying to think there's a Seattle Aquarium too, if you live in Seattle. But if you haven't been to the beach in a while, this is a good day. It is still hot here on the East Coast. I'm not sure where you guys are at. Everybody's different on YouTube, but if you can get to water where there's wildlife, that would be really healing for you, maybe, even if you're working, put like a screensaver on your computer that has the water life, just so you have some connection to it. Because I think it'll bring you a little bit better energy and more happiness. And on that note, I'm going to run and get my banana bread out of the oven before it burns. And I'm going to wish you guys all the best, and I'll be back with the 9th reading. But this is for September 8th, for everybody, for all signs, basically. And if you would like a free reading with me, I'm going to put a little link or just what my email address is. You can contact me via email, and then we can set something up. Right now it's pay by donation through PayPal, however much you want. Eventually I'm going to be starting to set prices, because I'm starting to get a lot of response. And this is I'm just shouting out to all you guys, huge thank you to everybody for all your kind remarks, for liking my videos, for connecting with them, for reaching out to me. You guys have been great. I'm just so flattered. I really am. And I really just want the best for everyone. And if you want a private reading with me, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to schedule it. I am going to be limiting my time to 2 hours per reading. Basically right now, as many questions as we can get in the 2 hours. And then it's by donation. The more money, obviously, you can donate, the better it is for me, because I can then go full-time doing this for everybody, and I'll have more time, in my schedule and be more flexible as far as doing as many readings for people as I possibly can. It's what I love to do, and I'd love to do more of it. So, and then... yeah, so then you just donate to my PayPal. I'm going to put a link to PayPal. My PayPal information is birdsfly@gmail.com, and I'll post that up so you'll be able to spell it. So have a great day. I feel like this is going to be a great Monday, honestly. It may be a little Monday Madness, because there's a lot of things going on in this card. A lot of things going on. So... there's a second person involved, there may be 3 people involved in your Monday that kind of have more of a dominant role in what your Monday looks like. But it's going to be a great day, and there's a lot of love coming from Spirit. So if your grandpa's passed away, he's sending you love. And I'm going to give you a hug and a kiss, hug and kisses, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you again so much.